Hello, it's 9:30 and welcome to the weather update on this July the 20th. And you noticed a little bit lower humidity today, though. Uh, some sun and a good deal of clouds around at times, high clouds mainly. You can see off to the west there is quite a complex of storms that has developed. And we'll have to see if that's going to wind up making it here or not. But definitely noticed the lower humidity today, which definitely felt a lot better. And we're going to look at right now what we got going on outside. And you can see right now this line, there's a severe thunderstorm watch to our west, as well as numerous severe thunderstorm warnings where that line is. Um, let's go to the observations here. And you'll note that the dew points, well, they're starting to come back up again, but they were lower for a time today. We actually had dew points get as low as the low 60s, believe it or not. Let's look at Islip. Let's look at Farmingdale. We'll pick Farmingdale today. And now the dew point is back up to 70. But however, earlier the dew point was lower. In fact, we had dew points in the 60s this evening into the afternoon, even low 60s for a time in the late afternoon hours. So the dew points better. It was warm out there. We had mid 80s, but the dew points were definitely lower, and that made things feel a lot better and a little bit less haze in the sky too. Especially toward the evening, I noticed that we actually had some blue sky mixed in with the cirrus. You can see there's the blue sky mixed in with the cirrus, and you can see again kind of a pretty looking sky there. It wasn't as hazy as it has been. This is definitely welcome, for sure. And you can see there, definitely a better looking sky than what we've seen, and I'm hoping that means that we'll actually have some blue skies for this weekend, perhaps. Let's look at our high temperatures for today, and you'll see high temperatures in the mid 80s on Long Island, mid 80s more or less in the Jersey Shore area. However, as you go up to the north, there are a few temperatures near 90. Let's see what the city got to. See 88. I don't see Central Park. I see 85 at LaGuardia. Probably no 90s. Looking at our lows, it did get down to, actually, you look all the way down to 62 at West Hampton. Otherwise, lows were around 70 degrees. And again, looking at the kind of day you had, depending on where you were, again, we got that break in the humidity, which was nice. We'll look at Islip as well. See the dew points back up to 70, but if you look earlier, you'll see that the dew points did actually drop out. Is that a 58-degree dew point I saw around? Look at that. Very. Oh, no, that's the humidity. I'm sorry. That's the humidity. Though the dew points were in the low 60s. Look at that. That's dry. I mean, that's definitely a lot better than what we've been seeing, for sure. A lot better, lower humidity today, and then the haze got a little better toward later in the day. The air quality improved as the smoke kind of moved away, I guess, and hopefully we get a little break from it at least. I'm just curious if New Jersey actually wound up getting a break from that humidity too. So let's look at Lakehurst here. I thought maybe there'd be one for Lakehurst. Here's Lakehurst. So 74, dew point 68. Let's see if they got a break. Not as much. They still got down to the mid 60s though for the dew point. So there was a little bit of a break from the humidity today, which is definitely very welcome. Now, if we look off to our west, these are where the severe storms are, and you can see this pretty strong wind gust here, 37 miles an hour with this thunderstorm here. And we're going to go right now to the radar and look at these storms. So here they are, and this definitely has like a bowing here. So Pennsylvania, you can see that bowing. It almost looks kind of derecho-like in a way. Probably will weaken when it hits the mountains. We'll have to look at the models on this. But you can see there's the bowing of these storms here. So there are these storms are pretty strong, and that's why they're all severe warned. Pretty much all of these are severe warned. And you'll see that there's drier air behind the front. So if we look behind the front, you can see that drier air there behind the front. And then we still have the heat in the south, some more severe weather going on here. We still have the heat going on in the south, though it's now shifted more to Mississippi and Louisiana. Southwest is still dealing with it as well. And if we look at the highs today in that area, you'll see it's still 110s. I mean, 120 at Blythe. My God, that's insane. So Arizona is really just baking. I'm curious to see what Flagstaff got up to. Let's see if we can find Flagstaff in here. Probably 93. No, that's Warm Springs. So I gotta find Flagstaff. It's hard when everything is shaded up. Shaded over here. Maybe it's over here. We're trying to find it. It's very, very, very hard when you can't see. I think I'm clicking in the wrong state. We're looking for Arizona here. Flagstaff would be the cooler temperature. So look at these hundreds. I mean, this is insane heat here in Arizona. It's absolutely nuts. Where Flagstaff is here. Let's just change the shade. See, this one thing I don't like about this is they make this too opacity. I can't see where I'm clicking. I'm clicking in a Nevada. That's why. So we're looking at Nevada's temperatures, trying to find Flagstaff here. I'm kind of curious to see what Flagstaff hit. There we go, 89. It looks like 89. So they're in the. Nope, that's not actually Flagstaff. Dry Park. That's not Flagstaff either. That's Grand Canyon. So there's Flagstaff, 93. So again, it's not supposed to be this warm in Flagstaff. 90s. It's never supposed to be in the 90s there. Very, very unusual. So they're experiencing climate change as well. And I wanted to show you that because, you have areas even at elevation that are dealing with extreme heat. And, it's dry, too. And look at how hot it was. Why don't they have any warnings out? And look at these readings in eastern Oregon. 104 for a high? That's insane. Look at these. Now we're going into Canada. Look at Kamloops. Kamloops at 100. That's insanity. So it's not good. This is not good for the wildfire situation. These areas are hit hard before by wildfires, and then there's going to be more wildfires there again. And then looking at eastern Canada, you do see some cooler air in eastern Canada, luckily. But just insane heat going on. And if we look at Europe, well, again, these don't work for Europe because the times are different. But just insane. Yeah, we spoke about that yesterday. So let's go to the weather map here, and you'll see it's actually showing a warm front, and then the cold front's not a little back a little further into Indiana. You can see we've got kind of this almost little backdoor front here, and then we have this nicer air mass that we'll get to for the weekend. So let's go to some more satellite imagery here, and I want to just go to the CONUS view of the satellite, so we'll do that. So you can see that there isn't much smoke here. But there's a lot on the west coast, though. Those fires are starting to explode on the west coast now. So let's go to the west, Pacific Northwest, and this is where here we go. So, look at that. That's a big fire there going on in Oregon right now. And it looks like we may have some that have just started in British Columbia. So, expect the fire activity to continue it's going to actually become a much bigger problem in the West as in the coming days and weeks. So let's look at another radar image here. We're going to go and look at the radar image to the west here. We can. I just want to show you that line in Pennsylvania. So you can see, again, that's a pretty nasty looking line right there. Let me go to the enhanced. Actually, maybe I'll just use this one. But that is a pretty nasty looking line that you got in Pennsylvania there, and it looks like it's showing no signs of slowing down. That's for sure. That's pretty intense right there. So let's go to the models now and look at we're gonna have to deal with this threat of, now you can see it's not really having anything arrive here until around sunrise. This is the GFS, and then it's got some rain chances kind of lingering through the day. This is the GFS again, and then improving weather by the weekend. Look at that. We're gonna have a weekend with no rain chances, and it's been a long time since we had that. But then as we get in the next week, we'll be dealing with the return of rain chances again. And you can see the ugly ridge starting to develop there in the east that could bring us some heat. So let's go to the, I don't know, maybe a little too early for the HRRR, so we'll look at our temperature anomalies here. Again, just to show you the cooler air coming in, we'll use this. So you can see that cooler air coming in for the weekend. So we'll be near normal, maybe slightly a bit above on Sunday, but then as we get in the next week, that's when we're going to start dealing with, I think, more heat. You can see definitely, yep, there's the heat. So we're going to start dealing with a little bit more heat next week. Let's go take a closer look now. Let's go to the HRRR. We may not have enough of it in, though. All right, well, actually, we have a decent amount of it, and we have 40 hours. So that's enough to show you what the HRRR is going to do to this line. And you can see it kind of just weakens it. And then by the time it gets to us in the morning, there isn't much left of it to it. Whether I'm going to buy that or not is another story. But it probably because it hits the mountains and you have losing the daytime heating, these things generally tend to slow down. But we'll have to keep an eye on this, that's for sure. Just beware if you're heading out in the morning. You might have to contend with some thunderstorms. And then after that, we have another area of thunderstorms that develops toward the afternoon here, and really some scattered, actually fairly widespread thunderstorm activity in the afternoon. It looks like tomorrow is going to actually be pretty active with storms. You can see it is developing some storms, I guess, southern Jersey Shore area in the afternoon. And then you can see that there's some off to the south, some off to the north, but it's still scattered. But then there's another one that develops over Long Island. But then once you get to the weekend, that's it. But tomorrow will be somewhat active with these storms, I think. So keep that in mind. We will have an active day of tomorrow with weather, and we'll have to see if we're going to see any severe weather. Actually, so let me go to the Storm Prediction Center here, and we'll. All right, it should be in here somewhere. Here we go. So you can see that an enhanced risk that they have in Pennsylvania, surrounded by slight risk and a marginal over New Jersey for us. And you can also see some in the Midwest and in the Carolinas. When we look at day 2, I think that marginal risk is now over us. So we are in a marginal risk for severe weather for tomorrow, which does not surprise me at all. And again, we're going to just look at a few soundings so you get an idea of what the atmosphere is going to look like tomorrow. And you see the instability there. So let's look at our dew points because they will be going back up again. Definitely the humidity is going to come back in force for tomorrow. Dew points will rise probably into the low 70s. And then this as far as this HRRR model goes, it's still showing some humidity for the early part of Saturday. But you see that the wind direction swings over to the north. And that changes things. Temperatures, with those storms popping up, you can see, look at that. That you can see though that we're gonna have to watch that closely. But for tomorrow, it generally won't get as warm as it did today. I do want to look at the statistics for today before I end this video, but it generally didn't get as warm as today. It probably only highs around 80 with all the storms and clouds around. And then dropping into the 60s tomorrow night, and then for Saturday, that's as far as we've got. So I have to use the GFS if we want to go look at things further. And you'll see here the dew points lowering for Saturday. So maybe in the morning might be a little humid. I think by the afternoon we'll drop the humidity. You can see northwest winds. Don't expect much of a sea breeze with those northwest winds, but it will keep the dry air around. Look at Sunday, even drier, light northwest winds there. The dew points possibly getting as low into the 50s perhaps, which would really be nice. Enjoy it because then it starts going back up again next weekend. You can see the humidity there starting to return as we get toward next week. And there's a pretty strong southwesterly flow as we get toward Friday. And that's going to bring in the heat. So as far as air temperatures go for tomorrow, Saturday, we'll be back probably into the mid-80s. Sunday, maybe some more mid to upper 80s. Maybe some areas in Jersey could get close to 90. Lows at night, generally in the 60s. And then by Monday, you'll see that things start to heat up again, 85 to 90. And we're going to be in that setup for much of next week, 85 to 90. And then dealing with, as you get toward Wednesday, you can see temperatures around 90 degrees. Jersey looks like getting the heat on Thursday with 90s, not so much on Long Island. But Friday, it has one brutal day here where we could see temperatures well into the 90s, perhaps 100 with that. If that goes to a west-southwest wind, we could have a really brutal day. And then on top of that, look at that Saturday, another brutal day We'd have to wait till Sunday, so we could have a real pair of absolutely brutal days there next week. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. I am not looking forward to it. Not in this hellhole. So, you know how hot it's going to be in here. That's when my air conditioner really has problems. So, let's go look at the skies. Also look at a few more models, too, while we're at it. But let's go to the skies. And you'll see tomorrow there'll be clouds and sun. And then Saturday, looks like it's showing a decent amount of sunshine. Same thing for Sunday. And then Monday, we have maybe some high clouds around. Though, again, we'll have sunshine next week, but some hot conditions perhaps. Again, that's a ways off. We're not going to really look into it too much, but just a heads up that more heat is on the way before this month is over. It's just a heads up. Let's look at the RGM model for skies. So this is the RGM model for skies. And you'll see for tomorrow, you see all the high clouds. So it's keeping a lot of clouds around tomorrow. But these are mainly high clouds, probably anvil blow off. And then it's Saturday, it looks like it's still showing some clouds around, maybe some high clouds around. It's not until we get to Sunday that we finally see relief. And we see a clearer sky for Sunday, perhaps. And again, this is just a model for a long range. Well, you know, we'll have to see what happens, obviously, with the smoke. The model doesn't go out that far when it comes to smoke. I want to go to the NAM 3 model, and we're going to go back to the 18Z, and we're going to look at tomorrow here. As far as this line goes, I'm curious to see what the NAM does with it. Yeah, it just kind of weakens it, but then it redevelops it and then it kind of just fizzles it. It doesn't really give us much of anything. So yeah, but it's so close that we're gonna have to really keep an eye on it for sure, because we could see again some strong storms possible tomorrow. Maybe some severe storms. We do have that marginal risk for severe weather. So let's go to the Ventus sky and look at the Cape levels for tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to start it off at 5 in the morning, so you can see there is some Cape over us in the morning. You can see there's what's left of that line. There's some Cape ahead of it. Behind it kind of stabilizes things, but then we destabilize again around noon. You can see there is decent Cape around here, so there is some decent Cape. So we're going to have to just keep a lookout for these storms tomorrow, because tomorrow could be pretty active. It's hard it's hard for models to predict where these storms are going to pop up, but I think tomorrow we're going to have quite an active day on our hands. Let's look at the lifted index. Oh man, that's high. So yes, we could see some widespread thunderstorm to severe thunderstorm activity, and with these numbers, I wouldn't be surprised if they issue a severe thunderstorm watch, perhaps for tomorrow. We'll have to see. But these conditions are very favorable. And we're going to have to just pay attention to this, because, again, we have very favorable conditions for severe thunderstorms tomorrow with such an unstable atmosphere. Let's go to the vertically integrated smoke right now. We'll go to the vertically integrated smoke model. We'll put that into play right here. So let's run the 21Z here. And you see, yep, the smoke, this is tomorrow, so you see, and then there is a bunch of clean air for the weekend. So it looks like we will get clean air for the weekend before we get back into this again. So we will eventually deal with this. But right now, it looks like the weekend we should actually have some clean air. Really, let's hope we will get at least some clean air, because we will get back into it, I think, sometime next week. And who knows, maybe when we have that bad heat, it will be also combined with smoke, which is going to really be terrible. But anyway, let's wrap it up with the climate statistics for the day, and look at the climate statistics for today. Let's go to the climate statistics right now. And so here we go for today. 85 is the high at Islip. So we were just a degree above normal at Islip today. What about Central Park? We were 2 degrees above normal. At Central Park actually did get up to 88. It was a warm day today. And Newark probably hit 90. Oh, it only hit 88 there. Wow. Still 2 degrees above normal for that. So everybody pretty much above normal again with temperatures. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this weather update. Have a good night.